It is finally time for the video of the year, and that is everything I've made in 2024. And as you can see, it's not as much, and I debated if I should even make this video because I didn't make as much as I wanted to, but I have a good reason for that. If you have seen my previous videos, you'll see this is filmed in a different room. That is because I have moved houses this year, and that took up many months of renovating, redecorating and all that stuff, so I didn't really have much time for sewing. I had some trouble with my sewing machines and everything, so you know, we all have a year or a moment in our hobbies when we don't really enjoy it as much or don't have the time. So if you're new here and you haven't watched any of my other videos, just let me explain. I usually self-draft a lot of my sewings. Sewing's not really a word, but close. So I really make my own patterns, or I hack patterns, and I also buy a lot of fabric from the thrift store. So this year for 2024 I didn't buy anything new. I only bought like fabric from the thrift store, or I use things from my stash. The way that I work is just I'm browsing in a thrift store and then I'll see some fabric and then I get inspired to sew something. Oh, and besides the sewing, I also tried some knitting. It's not much, but I'm gonna show you later in the end of the video. But first things first, sewing. What did I sew? Well, first of all, this top. I am wearing it right now because it looks really bad on a hanger. And it's like my favorite thing that I've made this year. It is a hack of the normal blouse. And I think if you're into sewing, you know everything about the normal blouse. It's a pattern by Fiber Mood. I'll link every pattern down in the description box, and I've hacked it for longer sleeves, and I used some elastics at the end, just something easy, because I found with the very narrow hem that they use, it's not a hem, like a little collar, and I made it into a wrap top because I don't really like blouses. I like wrap tops more. I have like a smaller waist and bigger hips, so wrap top works for me to accentuate the waist, and it's like a very easy pattern to make. And with the blouse you have to sew all these buttons and buttonholes, and I found it really frustrating, a really annoying thing. So that's why I made this. This is just a way easier version of the normal blouse, and it looks a bit weird probably now, but... And I thrifted this fabric. So when I saw this fabric I fell in love because it is the perfect lilac, warm lilac color. It has a bit of a... It's a bit of a corduroy-esque, but not really, if that makes sense. And it was just about long enough for this. So this is one of my favorite makes. Okay, so the next make, that was this vest. I love making vests. And if you can probably see, this has been thrifted, this fabric. And it's one of those 80s or 90s tablecloths. And I really love these kind of patterns. I really love this color. And I made it for spring. I used a little bias binding and made also a little ribbon out of it, so you can just... I just thought it would look cute if you could just pull it together. And for the inside I have used a fabric that I already had and used it as a lining, and I think it looks really cute. I have to admit though that I haven't really worn it much, but I do really like it. This pattern is also self-made. It's really easy. I think I made a tutorial on how you can make your own vest. It's very easy if you got like a t-shirt that fits well. Very easy to do. Yeah, so next make. That is something thrifted again. This is a thrifted curtain. It is a dungarees, plural, I don't know. Anyway, a pair of dungarees, I think that is the term. I've made dungarees quite a lot, and I always use a self-made pattern, but in the future I don't want to do that anymore because I use a zipper to get it open, because once again I have narrow waist with wide hips. So dungarees are always a problem for me, and I found making one with a long top and a zipper on the side makes it a bit more less prone to like gaping, if you know what I mean. But I don't really like this one because it's a little bit too boxy. So this one gets like really big, it's too long, and that makes it look a little bit boxy, a little bit weird, makes me look a little bit more square than I am. So I have not really liked or worn this, but I think I'm gonna use this for gardening, or I'm an artist, so maybe I want to say artisting, but I mean painting or printmaking. I think it's just one of those bands that you can really wear and make dirty. Because it's thrifted, the fabric is thrifted and everything, so it's not really, it's just a waste of time. But you know, you'll learn something from that. What I do like about this is the lining. I've made the lining as well. And I really like to do this because it will make the inside look so much neater, and the hemming as well. And this was also a old tablecloth that I just didn't really have much fabric of, so it was perfect to use for this. And I used the inside as well. I feel like this video is going to be chaotic. I am so sorry, but yeah, I do really want to make more dungarees in the future. But yeah, just use an actual pattern. So if anyone has any recommendations, please let me know. For something for people with wide hips, please. Really love this fabric, and you can't really see it because I cut it apart, but these were a pair of curtains that I got at a thrift store, and they have like these big tulips, and I really love that, and I really love this color of blue. I personally have like a tulip tattoo, so I am all about flowers and tulips, so I really had to get this fabric. I made another top, and for this one I forgot the name. It's, I think, the Frida top from Victor Manson. This, I think, is like a Dutch or Belgium kind of pattern maker. They don't exist anymore, but you can still get their patterns. I'll link it down below. And this is a really easy top, and I've had this fabric in my stash for years. I've bought it years ago, and this is probably the perfect fabric for this. Nice and flowy, and I love the color. And the back has just some elastics, which I love because that way it looks really nice on the back. I have like a little bit of a hunchback, so with something like this I don't really have a caping back. It just fits very perfectly, so I love that. The only thing I don't like is like the bias. It has a different name in English, but I forgot. But this for some reason I couldn't really get it right, so it's a bit gaping, and I'll need to fix that one day. But I do really, this is such a simple make, such an easy simple make, and I think with lovely results. And it has the big huge sleeves that I love, and this is just such an easy make, and I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, as you can see, this doesn't really fall over nicely. So maybe one of you guys has a solution for that. Please let me know. Then the big move happens. So I didn't sew anything for months, and then in summer I sewed a dress, and it's the same fabric that is from the vest, from the lining of the vest, as you can see. So this has been in my stash for years. Really wants to make a big long dress for summer, just an easy dress. I have one of these in blue, and I really love it. I love to wear it, but I thought it would look better in pink, and I just drafted something. I do think it's pretty, but I think the elastic in the waist is a little bit too tight, so I might fix that later on, or maybe not. It is, I think, a poplin cotton, so it's a bit sturdy. And this is also just an easy make, and something that I really love. As for these kind of things, I always use a pattern by Rosary Apparel as a base for the top and the back. I think it is even free. She has a free pattern, and I mostly use it as a base for these kind of dresses, and definitely recommend it. Thank you, Rosary. So then I got to make something practical, because honestly I am not really a girly, so I just like to wear easy stuff, and I really needed a body warmer for gardening. So I made like a little finance bro-esque body warmer. I call it a flower bro. Just very easy. So this is one of those fabrics that I got a long time ago, and I quilted it myself with another fabric that I've got like many years ago. The red one, I use bias binding for the seams, but to be honest, it doesn't look great. And this is more of a practical make. I even made like a little hook hook thingy. Pockets are crooked, but this was such a struggle to make because my machine broke down and then another machine broke down, and it was a big kind of a drama, and at the end I just wanted it to be done. And this is more like a practical make, so this is something that I'll wear in the garden. As you can see, the pockets are not level. And it's something I could easily fix, but I really didn't want to anymore. I was just so done and so fed up with this. And then in one of my videos I showed you I made something for Christmas, which is the same kind of top as this one, but with a different fabric. And this was a fabric that was gifted to me a few years ago, and I got to use it finally. And this was the only, this is the thing. So I wanted to make this with a green velvet that I thrifted many years ago, but it wasn't enough, the fabric, so I had to use this. Yeah, it's cute. I decided to wear it reverse, and I think that looked really cute, and I think the fabric is really cute. That's about it. So, and then we have another Christmas make, again thrifted fabric. I made the Nino jacket by the fabric store. It looks a bit haggard on this, but I really love this pattern. I use it all the time, and it's such an easy pattern, and it gives you like a kimono-esque jacket, which I really love. I also contemplated using the wrong side of the fabric, because I think that looks really cool as well. No clue if you can see any of that, but because it's Christmas I decided to go with the shiny crazy side, so that way you'll have something new for Christmas, but still, you know, didn't waste anything, just time. And then my last make that I've just finished sewing yesterday, so I could finally make this video, is a little winter jacket. It's not perfect either, honestly nothing is. I would still call myself a beginner when it comes to sewing. Maybe intermediate, but no, probably beginner. I don't really have much patience, so yeah. But maybe a winter jacket, and I quilted it once again. This is also fabric that was thrifted. Wouldn't really use it normally for a jacket, but it's the best one that fits. Even the zipper was thrifted. And this is the inside, which I used as the serger. I was a bit lazy. It's the outside for the inside. I used the old leftovers from a curtain that I made shorter, and I also have something of this left. I once again cannot come up with the name. Well, anyway, lining fabric. So this is a little bit more soft and shiny, so it will probably, you know, go over a sweater. This was quite a difficult project because of the pockets. I made pockets with a little flap, good terms, and a zipper. So, you know, you can really put some stuff in here. And I had a really hard time with the pattern to figure that out, and I didn't. So, and if you look closely, you can see that this one is on a different side than this one. And that's not intentional. I just made a mistake, and then I had to redo it again and again and again. And I was afraid there would be nothing left of the fabric, because this is fabric that frays easily. And yeah, I used elastic for the sleeves, and I made this a little longer because I only had the zipper, and the zipper was a bit too long, and I want to wear this on the bike, so it needed to be a little bit longer. So I just made it longer and made some, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I just used this as a sort of big hem and just put some extra fabric on it. That's just how I work. So I almost forgot my knitwear. That sounds very fancy, but it isn't. I'm really a beginner knitter. I used to knit when I was little. I made like these little blankets for my Barbie horses, and I only made scarves and sometimes like a hat. And for the beginning of this year I made like this bonnets, like a balaclava sort of thing. It looks really freaky like this, but it's really warm and nice. I mean, I messed up quite a bit, and it makes me look like a total granny. And when I was in New York, beginning of this year, it was so cold, and I loved wearing this, and my friend was kind of embarrassed of me. But I mean, the girls in New York are very hip, right? And they all were wearing one of these, so I was still hip. But at least I've knit something. And I also knitted two Sophie scarves. This was a test version. It's way too thick, and then I made a smaller one that I think is very cute. And you're supposed to wear it like this. I made a little longer version, but it's still shorter than the longer version. It's like a little bit in between. Not really see what I'm doing here. But I think this is really cute. Not with this top, but you know, with like a striped shirt or something. So I definitely want to make more. They're such an easy make, and really love them. The petite knit Sophie scarf. These are all my makes. I know it's not too much. I'm a little disappointed myself, but you know, every year is different, and I think we should give ourselves a bit of grace when it comes to big life changes or just life in general. Sometimes you're just not really feeling it, and for me this year I just wasn't really feeling sewing, not even before I moved, and then the move happened and I do now have a separate space to make art and sew, which is lovely, but I still have to find my groove. Thank you for watching. I'm hoping you'll have a great new year, and let me know what you'd like best, or if you have any questions. And if you like what I do, you can please subscribe, but please know I don't really make a lot of sewing videos anymore. I am also an illustrator, and I make videos about making art. And if you're interested in but just a little hands up, because I noticed that these videos can get quite popular, and then people think I'm a sewing channel, and that is not, but I do really enjoy sewing. So yeah, anyway, I hope you have a great new year, and see you soon. My thoughts make me tired just